Ja.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
In cage with Danel Dios.
Yes, my
In
pleasure.
Sweden. Yeah, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
In Västerås, we are in Padel Arena.
Yep.
Yeah. You are a trainer here?
I come here. It's one of the 5 clubs that I work in Sweden with.
Yeah.
So I come here like once every 5-6 weeks, more or less, to train the players and to follow up on the people that they want to take their game to another level.
Yeah.
So, and it's like my second home here, so
Yeah.
it feels super nice to be here.
And which other towns?
Helsingborg, Linköping, Halmstad, and Göteborg. Yeah.
And which levels are you training in?
Oof, all levels. All levels. I go from competition levels to top 20 in the World Padel Tour, up to beginners. As long as they have the energy and the commitment to learn. I mean, I think that as a coach, your passion, has to be to help as many people as possible, with no restrictions, regardless the level of the skills.
No. Are you teaching something also about the one you learn? Do you take something with you?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
always. I mean, the more you coach, the more you learn.
Yeah.
So every time you come out with new things. Especially in Sweden, which is a peculiar case because there is like the Swedish version of playing padel, It's like, oh, I've never seen that before. So it's like, whoa.
We talked about it in lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about Swedish padel?
It's a fresh sport, of course, and the padel in Sweden is played a lot by racket players. So you see different backgrounds. You see like tennis paddle, you see squash paddle, you see badminton paddle, you see racquetball paddle. Yeah. So everybody has a small contribution to the sport in one way or another one. So it's a fresh sport. I think that the fundamentals of the paddle is still consolidating process in Sweden. Yeah. So it's but every time we come here, we see more of what we should see about what paddle is. Of course, that's without a doubt. I mean, 2 years ago when we were coming here, I basically had to wear a helmet, when I was on the court because all I could see was bullets going to my head. But now you start seeing some more paddle shots. So it's a process, of course. It's still, paddle in Sweden has been happening for 6 years, which is nothing compared to 40 years of Spain or 50 years from South America almost. So it's an evolution, but it's getting better and better. Yeah.
And your paddle history, can you tell us about?
I started off as a tennis player. I was a former ATP player, and then at the age of 20, I decided that it was too expensive. It was good.
I read somewhere that you were broke.
It was when there is a financial need, you get very stressed, of course, because then you put yourself in the situation that you have to win faster. And every person has a process. My process was not to be a good player at the age of 20, maybe it was at the age of 25. That I will never know. No. But I had to take the decision to stop. It was a hard one to take when you see that you're going kind of on the way up, but you have to stop, but that's life. And this is when I started playing paddle because all the friends that I had from when they were 13, 12, then they were tennis players. Now everybody was playing paddle and I knew what was paddle. But it was something that the way I saw paddle, it was like, but it's not real tennis. Like all the tennis players. And then I got on the court, but with my tennis skills, this was when I was 20, 21, with my tennis skills, I felt that I could do well with paddle. I was like, I have a good volley, I'm fast, I have a good smash. Like I don't need the walls, who needs the walls? Until I decided to play my first semi-professional tournament in Spain. And then me and my partner, we lost 6-love in 20 minutes. And I never felt so humiliated in my entire life. And then I said, okay, I need to learn about this. Then I took it personal. So since then, I've been playing for 21 years now. 21 years on a paddle court. First, I was combining paddle with tennis. And then I switched off from tennis and stick to paddle. And in the process of combining paddle and tennis, I was playing professionally as well. I wasn't all in because obviously I had my business in tennis. Paddle, it's still not a profitable sport, but now it starts looking better. So imagine 15 years ago, you were playing only for the sake of it. And this is when I started training more and more. I started learning what was really paddle. So I had my Argentinian paddle guru, Christian Jensen, who is for me is an amazing coach, and he taught me the Argentinian way of playing paddle. Defensive, to use the walls to slow the pace down. It took me a while to find my own rhythm. Because first I was mega aggressive, then I was super defensive.
Like we are doing here in Sweden.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. I mean, you have to find your identity on the paddle court, you know. First you need to learn paddle, and that means that often you're going to go away from your DNA. Until you understand paddle, you understand your identity, and then you find the type of player that you are on the court. First I was an attacker, then I became a defender, and then I realized that I was a counter-attacker. That was my style. So, and ever since then, I started training, and then I was more involved into coaching until I was just stopping playing tournaments. And then I decided to focus on the trainings. Sometimes I play because I still you have the hunger of competition, but it's happening very, very little. And since I started coaching, I've been coaching top players, I've been coaching club players, and then in year 2013 I moved to Marbella, and this is when I met Anders Mattsson, who is the owner of Racket Club Helsingborg. And he was like, I'm gonna open these courts, you know, but I'm not sure if I'm too early in the market because I'm a paddle freak and I want to invest on this. So he was really, really suffering because he was the only one, you know. So this was my first approach to the Swedish paddle in 2013, and ever since then there was this growth. First it was organic growth. Then it was Paddle Crew, also in Helsingborg, and it was funny because it was like, okay, out of all the country in Sweden, the only two clubs is like 2 kilometers away from each other. So they were like this. But then it was a huge growth of the sport. And then there was more demand on myself. Then I became more known for my company, for Padeltrainer, which I created in 2014. And ever since then, the growth of the sport in Sweden has been crazy. I work also in Germany, in Holland, in Belgium, everywhere. But now I've just decided to focus more on Sweden.
We are thankful for that.
Sweden is a country that I feel like my second home. I mean, my mom is Swedish, and I consider myself a little bit more Swedish than Spanish. So I have a good mixture of craziness, but ethic. So this year I have decided to spend more and more time in Sweden. And it's nice. It's nice to be able to follow up on the players, you know, because there is a real need to learn the sport for players and for coaches, because the sport really needs to grow in the right way. So the contribution, I feel that there is more contribution, it's more constant if I spend time here in Sweden.
And you was the captain in Swedish?
I was a captain for the national team for 3 years. And last year I resigned. I just feel that when you have being the captain of a team and also having a company like Padeltrainer, where we try to work with as many people as possible, sometimes it can create conflicts of interest, and then I decided that my job was kind of done. We created a good team. We introduced juniors in the team, and that was something really nice. And last year we became third in Europe.
It was amazing in Portugal.
It was a good moment for me too. It was okay. Now
for everybody.
Is it going to get better? No. It was just that. I have also some other goals in Sweden.
Tell us about the goals.
Well,
what are you doing?
Since I'm spending more and more time, I mean, my idea is to live in Sweden. It's just a matter of time. Now it's tricky times because of the corona and everything, so I have to see a little bit the final picture of all of this. But I know that I want to live in Sweden. That's for sure. I have several things on the table, plus projects that I want to move forward, especially regarding competition and helping coaches. You also help coach to be a coach. Exactly. I mean,
not just players.
Exactly. This was one of the things that when I was with the federation, it was one of the requirements that I was putting on the table. It's like, okay, if we want to have good players, if we don't have good coaches, we will never have good players. It's that simple. So with all this time coming here to Sweden, you see coaches that they do good things, other coaches that they don't do good things.
Yeah.
And the consequences is that the players are needing more and more time to become better.
Yeah.
So there's more frustration on the players, and Sweden will need longer time to create competitive players, which is what we all want. We want to see, I mean, who doesn't want to see a Swedish player going into the main draw for World Padel Tour?
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
So, but that is a process. That is not one thing that is going to happen from one day to another one. And now there are two solutions. You either move to Spain, not everybody can do it, or we create a nice system.
Something good here.
In Sweden.
Yeah.
With good coaches that can transmit the good information to players.
Yeah.
And then we will see a change. Until that doesn't happen, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And this is my challenge, realistically, to be able to provide as much help as possible to coaches and to players. To players, yes, but in the end you want to help the ones that will grow the sport, the coaches.
Yeah.
So we are in the process.
Yeah.
We are in the process.
Yes. Nice. And if you have some tips that you would like to give the Swedish ordinary players?
It's to make an effort. It's always when I have lessons, especially with club players, which Padelfamiljen has a lot of social players that they are starting. Okay, I like this, you know. When I have sessions with this type of players, and I always ask them, okay, so what do you want to work on? Tell me, what are the problems that you have? The most common thing that I get asked is, I cannot finish the point.
No. Okay. Finish the points.
I cannot finish the point. I need a big weapon. I need to finish the point. I need to finish the point. And then I go, okay, can I see the way you play a little bit?
Yeah.
And tell me how many times you can finish a point when you play with me. And they're like, okay. I've played 150 shots and I did not have one shot to finish the point. Is to try to make an effort to understand the game.
Yeah.
Of course, we all want to be aggressive and everybody's looking for that one shot, but padel is a game of a structure. We always say that it's like chess.
Yeah.
And in order for you to have that one shot, so you can finish a point, it will happen in two ways. By playing against a very bad player, or by you doing a good job.
Yeah.
If not, what will happen is that when you start facing better players, you will feel that you don't have the weapons to compete.
No.
You will feel that maybe the weapon is to hit harder, but hitting harder is not one thing that is reachable for everybody.
No.
So maybe you are not designed to hit the ball harder.
No.
And luckily this is padel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, now I used to be a counter-attacker, now I'm a defender.
Yeah.
So I try to win points from the back of the court. So it's just for people to make an effort to understand the game, how it's played, and to go back maybe to 1983.
Yeah.
Now luckily we have YouTube, so
I
will suggest the people to go to 1983 and look for padel, how it was played.
Ah.
And then they will see that there were no smashes, that every point was 150 shots long.
Yeah.
And it was the most boring thing to watch. So now the sport has evolved. There's more powerful rackets, players are more competitive, the balls are faster, but it gives you a good perception of the sport. What is the really ground. The importance of padel, and the important is that padel is a game of controlling and force errors. It's not how much you can win the point, it's how many points you are not going to lose. This is what is going to give you the point. So that would be a good and helpful tip for all these players that they're obsessed about winning the point. Don't worry, maybe it's not the right thing to do.
No.
And you can still win matches.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My
now
pleasure.
He will train me and my sister, and we are old volleyball players. Have you ever seen that before?
Of course.
We jump high and
we have Osa in the team, in the national team.
Ah, okay.
She's a volleyball player.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and she blocks the ball very well.
Yeah.
So she's not afraid of the smashes.
No.
So there are good things. There are good things. Yeah, I've trained volleyball players. So I'm ready for that. I'm prepared. Whatever you come up with, I think that I will be ready. Unless you have something different, Never know. But
Thank you for your time.
My
here
pleasure,
in the cage.
Susan. My pleasure.
See you here in Sweden.
See all of you guys. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.